Welcome to the Swang Low Podcast Show, man. It is yours truly, Do Rock Crate. What's happening with all my people out there in the free world tonight? It is an absolute pleasure to be back here at this round table with all of y'all after such a big hiatus. You know what I'm saying? We've been gone for what, almost 4 weeks now. You know what I'm saying? But look, let me explain this real quick, man. It's a lot going on, you know what I mean, on YouTube, on social media, you know what I'm saying, and in the world, period. You know what I'm saying, with all these indictments going on, you know what I mean, people getting online, airing out their hood politics, business, disagreements, beefs, and whatnot. You feel me? And sometimes, man, you just got to fall back. You know what I mean? You got to fall back, peep what's going on, so you would know what and what not to do, what to involve yourself in and what not to involve yourself in, because it's deep. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a couple of podcasters, you know what I'm saying, jump out there and say, oh, you know, I've been done my time for whatever crime I choose to jump online and talk about, and this and that. They can't come and re-indict me and this and that and blah blah blah, right? Well, it's not about you. It's about the things that y'all are calling content by jumping out there, speaking on other people's cases and business. All right. And just because you're doing a response video to some of this stuff, that's still helping them. Do you not understand? And I've said this before and I will say it again. You know what I'm saying? The police are assigned to these YouTube channels. They watch and listen to everything that those of us that choose to get behind this camera and speak on, they listen to it all. And if you're stupid enough to incriminate yourself, then you deserve everything that you got coming to you. But when you're speaking on different people's different issues, whether it be their politics, whether it be the cases and shit that they catching, you know what I'm saying? Bro, that is not content. I don't care how y'all try to label it. I don't care how y'all try to twist it up or none of that. You know what I'm saying? That's not content. You're helping the police. You know what I mean? Because anytime you call yourself doing a response video and you're lending your opinion to these open cases, to these different beefs that's going on with these dudes that's airing out all day business, you're helping. Point blank, period. I've seen it over and over again. Dudes jumping out there speaking on things they know damn well they shouldn't be speaking on. Why? More people ain't getting boot bop for this. Hey, the game been feel weak, man. That's the only thing
Mm-hmm.
that I can say. The game been feel weak. It ain't nothing like how it used to be. And I
Nope.
choose not to have any parts of it. And I don't care how nobody feel about that. Point blank, period. Because when you have done a number of years in prison, you know what I'm saying, for things that you actually have done, you know what I'm saying, or things that they went all the way out their way to convict you of, maybe you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're guilty by association or affiliation. Who knows? Whatever your case may be, everybody's stuff ain't the same. But I'm going to say this: there's no time limitations to you get being convicted or helping to get somebody else convicted of a case. Point blank, period. So jumping behind these cameras, speaking on things that you know in your right mind you should be getting boot bop for is a no-no. And a lot of y'all need to start getting boot bop. Point blank, period. We've seen the examples put out there of dudes jumping online, airing out their different beefs with each other, disagreements, you know what I'm saying? Talking about real hood politics and issues, crimes. Niggas on camera actually trying to solve crimes. What is it that you need to jump behind the camera and figure out when it comes to somebody else? Uh, uh, whether it be a federal indictment, whether it be an unaliving, whether it be a robbery, whatever the case is. Why would you jump on camera trying to figure this out and piece this and that together, piece this and that together? I've seen it with Nip. You know what I'm saying? That whole ordeal right there. I've seen different so-called content creators, podcasters jumping out there doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like the police ain't watching. Like the police isn't tapped in just like everybody else. Y'all getting a whole bunch of views. Y'all getting a lot of views. So you don't think out of all those thousands of viewers and subscribers that y'all got, that some of them are police officers that's actually taking in everything that you saying. And it might be something that they missed in that case that you helped them figure out. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't think about that. That's a good point you made, pet detective. Let me go back over this, and research this, and bam, there go their help right there. You feel me? So I've always said, man, you got to be careful on what you choose to jump out there and put online because the police is watching. Do not listen to these idiot podcasters that's jumping out there. Oh, because I caught my time and did this for this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about it. They can't come and recharge me for this and that. Well, what about the other people that you're talking about? What about the other hood politics that you're talking about? What about that? You feel me? So if somebody jump out there and call you a snitch because you're helping the police solve different crimes, you know what I'm saying, and going over these different cases and beefs and whatnot, bro, you leaving an electric paper trail. Period. I don't care how you dudes jump out there and try to spin it. And a lot of these dudes that's jumping behind these cameras, and that's another thing. Let me say something real quick about these so-called prison podcasters. They're not even podcasters. They're not even content creators. Because content creators create content from scratch. Don't piggyback what this saying, what this person is saying, what this person is doing. I understand everybody got a voice and they want to get their testimony out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You feel me? But you have to have integrity on the things that you choose to speak on. I caught wind of a so-called prison podcaster speaking on some stuff in regards to the section that I'm from, right? Which is funny. We don't touch that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't touch none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that stuff is snitching. A lot of that stuff is said to try to make somebody else look bad. While these dudes is jumping out there running their mouth about what other homeboys did from different hoods, speak on your own homies. Speak on your own homies. How your homeboys, some of your homies was booty bandits and manipulating a lot of y'all young homies from y'all hoods. You know what I'm saying? Moving them in the cell with them and having sex with them.
Horrible.
Speak on that type of stuff if you're going to speak, not just LA County jail phase and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody fight. Everybody is going to take a win. Everybody is going to take a loss. Who cares? I thought the objective was if a buster was a buster or a mark was a mark, then we expose them. We don't expose motherfuckers for actually having the heart to get in the ring and box, win, lose, no draw. Period. So why is that considered content? And you dumbass podcasters that's on the street that's piggybacking off this bullshit, man, y'all need to get y'all chin checked too. That's some real shit. Point blank, period. I don't care how y'all try to spin it. It's trash. It's not content. These dudes is not podcasters. They not doing nothing original. You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do is start wars. You know what I'm saying? And the wars is gonna start first and foremost behind the walls. You feel me? Because you dudes are speaking on things and it's going to get to the wrong person. The wrong person is going to take whatever you said in completely as disrespect. And next thing you know, you're getting airlifted off the yard. It's happened. This happened to some of these so-called podcasters in which they would completely be in denial about because they want to jump behind this camera on YouTube and paint themselves out to be these super whatever your gang affiliation is. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you about their losses. You feel me? They're not going to do that. If you go back over my content, I speak on wins and losses. I highlight all that shit. I don't just speak on other people's hoods and issues and shit. I speak on the things that I personally was involved in. You know what I'm saying? Whether I got a W from it or an L. Those L's don't define me. Period. That's what made me who I am. You feel me? So Again, man, y'all listening to PCs. Y'all listening to dudes that's on protective custody yards, SMY, your special needs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes that's speaking on things, they couldn't even go back to their hood. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to jump out there. I've been aching and dying to jump back on here, you know what I'm saying, and get that out. But at the same token, we don't rush anything here at Swanglow. We sit back in the cut and we peep all these idiots. You know what I'm saying? All these idiots that call themselves podcasters and content creators go out backwards. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ending y'all career and don't even know it. You speaking on things you shouldn't even be speaking on. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. And again, I understand how weak the game been feel because a lot of these dudes would have been got chin check. Y'all jump behind these cameras and say things you would never say in people's faces. You feel me? That's what I find remarkable. But at the same time, hey, a cell soldier is going to be a cell soldier. You know what I'm saying? And I define that as a person that's locked, isolated, by themselves, where they know can't nobody else get to them, and just start barking on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Knowing they're safe, ain't nobody gonna be able to touch them like that. So that's why they do it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, hey man, Golden, what's happening with you, my beautiful woman? I am absolutely happy to have you back in the house. You know what I'm saying? We've been
It's
gone,
good
we've
to
been
be
off,
back.
we've been yeah, we've been watching everything that's going on, you know what I'm saying? And we ain't never in a rush, man. It's all about,
Yeah.
precision, you know what I'm saying, and really trying to make a difference, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and not be part of the destruction that's going on in society today, man. So how you been? How you doing, man? Update us on what's been going on with you.
I've been good. I just still, of course, my I have my route with my students. On the 19th, I'll be taking my test with CHP to get my bus. So I just been like training a lot. Just the same old, same old. Just up and at it every day, 5 o'clock in the morning to like what 9, 10 o'clock at night. Just up all day. The kids same. Ride Bear. She keeps me on my toes, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Busy, busy, busy. Miss Busybody.
I've spoken on how hard of a worker that you are, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, hey, you stay. That's one thing that I can't say. You stay busy, you stay doing something. You know what I'm saying? Woman work two different jobs, you know. So she when she says she's on her feet all day, she from 5 o'clock in the morning, man, to nine something at night. You know what I'm saying?
So
She's
like
up and
like
running and doing what she
not to
do.
cut
You know
you
what I'm
off,
saying?
but
So
like spring break, of course, it's spring break. I want to go to Universal Studios or something. I want to spring break. I want to enjoy it, but of course, me, I'm gonna be working my other job, so I'm like, oh my god, and I still have to train a little bit too with my other with first students. So, Mm-mm-mm. Yeah,
Universal Studio sound bomb.
I want to go so bad. I want to take the kids,
I
love.
wouldn't mind going.
Maybe this summer. My love, as you come home, they let you free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know they definitely gonna love it, man. Because I know y'all
yeah.
always get out and do different things and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So being
Mm-hmm.
able to go to Universal Studio, oh, I know they gonna love that.
Yeah, maybe this
Nikki, what's
summer,
up with you? I
hopefully.
see you in the chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for joining us. Thank you. Shout out to you. Shout out to your family. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody is living blessed and being blessed out there. You know what I'm saying? With you and yours. Thank you for joining us at this round table. Man, I know we've been gone for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? And being able to do this show just out the blue, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, we are never too far away from Swanglow. You know what I'm saying? That'll never happen. You know what I mean?
No.
So again, and to those of y'all that happen to catch this later on, because I know a lot of people be working kind of late, you know what I'm saying, and doing different things, much love and respect to y'all as always. Thank you all for joining us at this roundtable, and taking us in when you can. You feel me? All right, so man, what's going on in the headlines, man? Let's cover some of that stuff
Okay.
outside of the things that I already talked about.
Okay, real quick, like I've been seeing a little talk, a lot of talk about the Usher. So you know he be doing his little concerts, and like he
Talking
be
about the
like,
singer.
yeah, he be like seducing these women. It's like to me, it's not that serious. Like you're Usher, you know, you got hits. Just go put a show on. You know, he be like up in their face, feeding them cherries. He be like doing the most. So recently, he fed some lady, an auntie. They call her auntie. They was like first, they was like the way they were doing, like if they were gonna kiss. It was kind of like almost rehearsed a little bit. You know, like if they were gonna kiss, then all of a sudden he gave her the mic. First he said his little part, she finished it. He gonna get these two cherries and dangle them, and she was just like her tongue just. Mm-mm. So then after that, there was a lot of talk that her 45-year-old husband divorced her. So then there was so much talk about it that she was on some show, some morning show, and I guess she was trying to say that she was never married or something. So, but everybody's saying
Dang.
that she's getting a divorce. So or he's gonna divorce her. So like that's
Wow.
crazy.
Hey, I seen some video clips of Usher, man, doing his shows and stuff, right? And I remember one particular one that I seen with Kiki Palmer, right?
Oh my
And
god. Yeah.
he the same seduction that you just described that he do to different women that go through his shows, I seen him do that with Kiki Palmer. The only difference was Kiki Palmer had like this little see-through thing on with butt cheeks out and all this exposed, and her baby daddy tripped out on her behind that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think yeah, they
So
started beefing after that. Yeah.
yeah, hey, we be putting ourselves in some cold predicaments, man. Now I wonder if she went to that concert with that in mind, that I'm gonna get front row seats to this Usher concert, and if he walk up to me and do anything, I'm gonna engage that. I wonder if she went there with that in mind.
But not
What
even
you
that.
think?
Like, how are you? Like, not even that, love. How are you? First of all, with your man, you just had a kid, and you're going to a concert in front of a lot of people with a see-through outfit on. You know, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's rehearsed or what, but whatever it is, it's causing a lot of tension. And then, like his wife, you know, she's a strong lady because, like my husband doing some stuff like that, I would feel a type of way. I'm sorry, it's not that. Like I said, it's not that serious. You know, like even Chris Brown, he be causing a lot of confusion too because these people be spending like $1,000 for the meet and greet. A lot of the boyfriends go with them, and then they be like kissing. He be grabbing on them, their butts, and like the way they be like hugged up, taking pics. And a lot of girls too, they lost their husbands and boyfriends behind it too. So crazy. Like, how would you
Hey, let
feel?
me let me ask you
How
this.
would wait? Let's turn it real quick. How would you feel if we went to a concert and I was up in a singer's face and he was like, you know, I was like, he was like the like think like Kareem Taylor. I really like him. Say we went to his concert and he was all in my face and I was just all mesmerized and stuff. Like, how would you feel?
Um, in all honesty, right? I look at that situation as entertainment, right? If
Yeah,
we're going to a concert and you're going there to have fun, you're going there to, you're not going there to be stiff, you know what I'm saying, and not enjoy yourself. So
okay,
if
so
by
like,
chance the artist, let me finish. If by chance the artist choose to engage you because he see a very beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying? And really that's what a lot of them dudes do. They engage the beautiful women, some of the moms, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot, to make them feel special during the show. So I understand like it's a gimmick. It ain't like at the end of the show, y'all finna be sleeping together. You're not finna walk off with no Usher or no
yeah,
Chris
I mean
Brown.
that's a good
You
point.
know,
Yeah,
they not finna, yeah, they not finna take you off my arm. That's not finna happen.
but at the
So
same time, like, go ahead, love.
if we going to this concert to have a good time, then I want you to have a good time there. You know what I'm saying? He damn sure ain't finna come do all that with me. You know what I'm saying? So if he see you
See,
there
now
with you
that's
and
what I'm saying.
he wanna what?
Like, and like if we went to a concert and it was like the roles like switch and a girl was there, I would be extremely upset because I'm just really, you know how I am, so I would be mad.
Yeah, but you don't really see too many women doing that. You don't really see too
Yeah.
many women, engaging the
Sometimes they
crowd,
invite them on
feeding.
stage.
Yeah, but you don't see the women feeding dudes cherries and all that stuff. You know what
I
I'm
give them
saying?
like
Like
lap
sexual kind of
dances.
sexual.
Yeah.
You don't see them doing sexual connotations on stage. You don't see a lot of females doing that now. What you do see, people like Lotto and Meg the Stallion and Glorilla, they do freaky stuff on stage by themselves, twerking and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see them bringing the dudes up on stage and
Sometimes
you know
I
what I'm
do see
saying,
that though,
twerking
love,
all
and
on
they
their
be
face, sitting in their lap.
no. There's a few times I have. They give them like little lap dances and stuff. Not a lot, but rarely I do see it. I've seen some artists do that. But yeah.
Okay, well, in some cases that may happen, right? But at
Mm,
the end of the day, you're not going to go home. I'm not going to go home with no Nicki Minaj. I'm not going to go home with no
okay,
Lotto. I'm not
that's
going to go
true.
home with none of these. These are entertainers. They're selling
Yeah.
their music. They're selling their show. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I be trying to tell people. You know what I mean? Like you can be a big fan of Chris Brown and Usher and all these people, right? And you can go to their shows, enjoy it, right?
Mm-mm.
Let me ask you this: would you go to an Usher concert?
No. Mm-mm. Nope. Or
No,
Chris Brown.
you don't like Usher.
I like his music, but I'm not into him like that. I like underground artists. Like I said, like I would go to a Kareem Taylor one. There's a few I would go to. I wouldn't go to Usher or Chris Brown one. No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so if you went to one of the ones that you liked, right, and
Uh-huh.
and they wanted to engage you, would you engage back with them?
No. No, and then I'm with you. No. Maybe if me and you weren't together. No. 'Cause that's what I was gonna say. Like, what if he took his shirt off and he
But
had some
you did.
baby oil and he put it in my hand and I'm just no, I can't do that, lovies. If I seriously, if I wasn't with you, yeah, I'm out with my girls. Yeah, I'm be like we're gonna be clowning, having fun, and think it's cute. But with you, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's not tight to me. No, mm-mm. I'll go to the house and do that with you.
I
I'm not.
respect
No.
that.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
I respect that. I respect that.
yeah,
It's a lot of women that would do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then it's a lot that won't. You know what I mean? It's probably a 50-50. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take
yeah.
nothing away from the ones that won't engage back in that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I've always found that kind of crazy. Doing them shows. People like Usher doing the things that he do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's selling himself. That's been him from day one.
Yeah.
You feel me? And if you go to a Usher show, you got to understand that that's gonna come with the territory. He's gonna find
Yeah.
somebody in that crowd to engage like that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
He would be singing the songs that he's known for. You know what I'm saying?
There
That's gonna
goes
happen.
my baby.
You feel
That's
me?
the song he was singing
Okay, so
to.
what else you got for us?
Okay, so then,
Exactly,
um,
exactly. That one
my
right there.
bad. There goes my baby. Yeah. Okay, so two women. There's a prison called Mill Creek Prison. Okay, so one woman she went for a conjugal visit with her husband, and he strangled her. Okay, he's 62 years old. He was in there for 4 life sentences. Okay, so about maybe a month or 4 months prior to that, or after, I believe another woman she went to go visit her husband, and she had another conjugal visit at the same prison, and he also strangled her and killed her, and that's just really weird. So a lot of people are saying, well, do they think maybe a correctional? There's one correctional officer there. He's doing it, and there's like a cover up or something. That's just weird. And then one of the sisters, she's like she's fighting now. Like she thinks maybe they should take that away now because of that happening. That they should take conjugal visits away because of this now. And it's at the same prison. It's called Mule Creek Prison.
Well, yeah, I'm aware of that prison. Let me say this. First and foremost, Mill Creek State Prison is a PC prison. It's all PCs, all protective custody is there,
Oh,
right?
for real?
For one. Secondly, Yeah. Secondly, yeah, the dudes that did that are PCs. Okay. But secondly, um, the corrections officers don't have anything to do with who get family visits and who don't. It's a process that you have to go through in order for you to qualify for family visiting. And they do background checks on the inmates, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
have any history of domestic violence, against women or any type of crimes against kids, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to get family visits, which is fascinating to me because I believe one of those dudes that you spoke about
He kept his. I mean,
had a history of harming women,
hmm the second one, yeah.
huh?
Yeah, yeah, the second one, he shot his 19-year-old woman,
Say that again.
girlfriend. Yes, the second one, he shot his 19-year-old girlfriend in the head to where she didn't die, but it blinded her and paralyzed her for life. So yeah, that's crazy. Why, if they do that, why would they allow that? And that's why that's the one where the sister, she's advocating for now for no more visits like that. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't understand how he was able to get family visits with that in his background because
Yeah.
you are not granted family visits if you have any history. Listen, a thorough investigation on you. So if you have
Hmm.
any history of harming women or kids, you will not qualify off the top. That's off the
Yeah.
top. You would not qualify for them. So how this dude was able to get it, beat that process, hey, it baffles me. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's horrible that them ladies took time out of their life to go inside a prison. Now let me explain how this thing is when as far as family visits go.
Hmm.
The family visiting area basically is 3 to 4 individual apartments, right? That's kind of
Hmm.
set off. It's on the prison grounds, but it's away from the prison yards. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you're off by yourself. There's no correction officers out there to harass you, watch you, or none of that. The only time the correction officers come through there is when they're counting you. That's the
Uh,
only time you're gonna see them, and they're gonna call you and let you know step out. So when you go out, they're gonna be sitting out there in their little golf cart. You go in, give them your prison number, then they leave, and you go back in, and we're out there together for 2.5 days,
hmm.
right? So it's horrible that these women took the time out of their daily active lives in free
Yeah.
society to step inside a prison and spend these 2.5 days with these dudes only for them to never make it out of there alive. That's
That's
horrible.
crazy. Out of prison,
You
like,
feel
come
me?
on, that type.
And
Nah.
yeah, um, it's horrible, man, and it's a bad look for everybody. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That is getting family visits. That's in prison. These, like I said, I got to highlight this out. Those two dudes are was on PCRs. They are protective custody people.
Hmm.
Okay, that means that they couldn't make it on the main line because their life was in jeopardy for whatever reason.
Hmm.
You feel me? I don't know why they was there, but anytime you go to that side, the PC side, there's no
Hmm.
coming back. You know what I'm saying? So that's what these two individuals was. They was PCs. Okay. So being that they did what they did, it's a bad look for everybody, the general population included. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And people pushing for them to stop it. You got to remember, man, they had stopped the family visits back in 1996, right?
Hmm.
That's when they took away a lot of the programs in the prison. That's the year they took all the weights off the yard because people used to be in there lifting weights. You know what I'm saying? They took all the weights off the yard, and then they took the family visits. From all the lifers, the people that have life without couldn't get family visits. That was from 1996 up until the last couple of years now. You know what I'm saying? That family visits has been taken. But you had a lot of people in a lot of different organizations that was fighting for the inmates to be able to spend time with their family. You know what I'm
Not no
saying?
more,
But
hopefully.
like I said, it was a process. Well, they're still gonna give it. See, this is the thing. Both of these incidents happen at one prison, right? And really,
Mm-hmm.
it falls on the prison officials that allowed that one dude with the history of domestic violence against women to be able to get those family visits with that lady. You feel me? There's
Yeah.
no way that they can clean that up, or you know what I'm saying? If the violence is there, there was no way. So that family should put in a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Pursue that. They're gonna win it just based
Yeah.
on that alone.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? That's
Yeah.
that's that's foul, man. I really feel
That
bad
is
for them ladies that lost their
women,
life,
man.
man, and their family. You know what I'm saying? I really do. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
you
what
had
else you got on
something
the
to talk.
docket for us?
But wait, love, you had something to talk about. You said that your friend told you about a case, but it's an old case. I remember telling you about it a long time ago. But
Oh yeah,
the case, yeah.
yeah. Um, Shout out to my family, Byron. I appreciate you, man, for sending me the clip that you sent me on this case. This is the case of Sade Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Sade Robinson was a 19-year-old young black female out of Milwaukee, right? That you know, she was young, 19, man. You know what I'm saying? And she met a dude online, you know what I'm saying, by the name of Maxwell Anderson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maxwell Anderson was a white Caucasian male. You know, he worked at a bar. You know what I mean? And I guess him and Sade met online. So eventually, they she started going to the bar where he worked at, and that was her fatal mistake because at that time, that's when he started plotting on her life, what he was gonna do and how he was gonna do it. He was so cold with it that he divulged that information to one of his friends exactly on how he was gonna do it. This dude was so sick with it, man. He had a basement in his house that he aligned the walls with rubber or plastic all over the walls and floors. So when he shot her, the blood splatter would get on the plastic and not on his walls. You know what I'm saying? He also dug a big hole, like a grave, in the ground. This is inside his basement. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And people have reported that they seen him, you know, a number of different saws in the basement, like murder equipment. You know what I'm saying? He had all the windows blocked up with black curtains. You know, people, the neighbors was like, he was a spooky dude. That was a spooky house. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, she ended up meeting with this dude, man. They went on a date. He took her back to that house, shot and unalived her, cut her body up, right? He cut each limb off, and he took her different body parts, her arms, her foot, her hands, you know, her chest, and spread these different body parts all over Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? So police is finding all these different body parts all over Milwaukee in different areas, man. And come to find out, it was Sade Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Man.
being that they had video surveillance of this dude from the time she went to that bar to meet him, from the time he walked out of there, you know, they got cameras everywhere. So they tracked him all the way back to the house, him and her, right? And that's when
Mm-hmm.
he did what he did to her. You know what I'm saying? Now, being that that case was open, that led into another unaliving that he did on another young girl. This was a white dude,
That's
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying, chasing down black young women,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
I remember this
yeah, and
case.
this is what I'm saying, man. Y'all have to y'all have to be careful on the people that y'all engage with online. You know what I mean? I know everybody is looking for love. You know, I understand, you know, people is lonely. You know what I mean? Everybody needs somebody, but going online is not the place. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We got to take it back to the old school, man, when we out and about, you know what I'm saying? And we engage in people. But even
Yeah.
that ain't safe.
Not no
So you
more.
got to be
No.
careful, man. because it's a lot of dudes. Yeah, it's a lot of sinister dudes that's out there, man, that's preying on these young women, man. And it's horrible. She was only 19.
Yeah, I remember
You
that
feel me?
case.
She
That's
was only
sad.
19. Her mama was on the news crying about this, seeing how she lost weight. Of course. Imagine that.
Yeah, your daughter, man, your child.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So um I just found it fascinating, man. You know what I mean? That this happened. You know what I mean? And you know, Milwaukee is also the same place Jeffrey Dahmer is from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
The other serial unaliver that was
Mm-hmm.
um he used to go to gay bars. You know what I'm saying? And he would get dudes and get them
Mm-hmm.
back to his apartment, unalive them, and eat their body parts. You feel me?
Horrible.
When they got him, they went inside his apartment and found body parts all over his apartment in the refrigerator. Some of the body parts was in pots he was freshly cooking. You know what I'm saying? And the neighbors used to complain of the funk,
About
the
the
smell
smell.
from all the dead bodies that he had. Yeah, from all the dead bodies that he had up in there. Everybody was like, that's the foulest odor we ever smelled coming out of that apartment. Why
Mm-hmm.
it took so long for them to figure out what Jeffrey Dahmer was doing, I don't know, man. But Milwaukee, hey, ladies, stay far away from there. And to those of y'all, I'm not, you know, trying to cast no bad, image on Milwaukee because I know Milwaukee has great places. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just had some very horrible people, and y'all not the only state that didn't have them. Us out here in California that had them too. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, and you know what I'm saying, Charlie Manson, and the list just goes on and on. So I'm not shitting on Milwaukee. Don't take it that way. But being that this happened with this young lady, man, it's not enough coverage of that type of stuff.
It's not. And there's
It's
so
not.
many. There's
You know
so
what I'm
many
saying? Some things just
cases similar, like a lot similar to her. Like there's
yeah. You was telling me
there's
about another young girl that some dude had snatched up and cut her hands off.
okay, but wait. First, Veronica left a comment, Lovey. She put,
Oh, did she? What she say? I can't see it.
remember
Oh,
when Susa Atkins stabbed her husband in visiting? I saw that, and the state took lifers visits for a minute, but gave him back.
oh yeah.
Do you remember
Yep.
that case? I don't remember that one, Lovey.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah. I remember that. Hey, it's crazy, man. The things that people would do, you know what I'm saying, to mess up everything for everybody else. A lot of these dudes,
Yeah,
man, is rotten. Point blank
very
period.
to the
Is rotten.
core.
And you got
Yes,
to look
they
at the
are.
content of these dudes' characters. You got to look at the content of these dudes' characters, man, on their past history because a lot of that stuff is documented in their files on how they get
Mhm.
down with women and you know what I'm saying? Like them,
Mhm.
I completely agree with. Should never, if you've done anything to a woman like that or a kid, you don't got nothing coming. You shouldn't.
Nope, at all.
For real, for real.
Okay, the case though. Okay, so
Oh
it's
man, I missed this
Kamon.
comment. Nikki, Nikki said Auntie forgot about hubby and family. She wanted Usher bad. Usher was performing, but Auntie wasn't shaking my head.
But wait, somebody said too.
That's
I
real,
read a
Nikki.
comment. Somebody put two tears are rolling down her legs. I was weak. I was like, oh my god. Somebody said tears were rolling down Auntie's legs. I was weak. I was like, oh my god, they're crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, lovey. So
Crazy. Go ahead and
Kamani,
finish what you're saying, man.
okay, so Kamani Latique. This is out of Toledo, Ohio. So she was staying with her grandmother, and it was some light skinned little fat dude. And I remember at first, before everything came out, he was on the news saying something about that she had called him saying that like it sounded like somebody was trying to break in the door. Okay, the grandma goes home. Okay, this little girl's underwear and something else are on the couch. Her pajamas are on the floor. So basically, when she left the home naked. Okay. So basically, I think a week or 4 days later, they found her a couple houses down in a home, abandoned home. This sick MFer unalived her, essayed her. I guess he was probably trying to, like they were saying, dismember her body because he also set the abandoned home on fire. But he probably knew that it was too much work because her hands were cut off and her neck. He cut her neck so severe that her head was almost decapitated. And this is a person who's supposed to be her father. And then people are saying that's not her father. And like if you go in your home and you see stuff like that, that should be a red flag. And everybody was getting on the grandmother because then again, the same thing. The little girl's going to school. I guess she had bruises. Child services was called to the home a lot of times. They did nothing. They should just take child services. They should just like fire everyone and not have one because they don't protect these children. You know, so she had a gang of bruises. So they're trying to say that they think that she was getting essayed for a while, and then she's on TV talking about, oh, well, she was a virgin and she didn't even like boys, and you could tell like by looking at her that she was a tomboy, you know. And what else? And then it was like this happened to her like right before her birthday. So then they like the house. There was like so many people putting flowers and so it's just sad. So yeah,
Mm.
another young innocent girl just took in because of a sick person. These men are they're doing it more and more love. They keep preying on these young little innocent girls. It's disgusting. And one of my students told me today that yesterday she don't even want to go to Home Depot no more. She said that she went to Home Depot and some man kept looking at her, licking his lips. And I'm like, what? She said, yeah, he even got, and like, you know, she's autistic. So, you know, she's probably trying to figure out what's going on. But, and then she said she thinks his wife was with him too. And like, he didn't care. He kept looking at her, licking his lips. And even her grandmother had told her, she said, you know what, if I wasn't here, he'd probably try to do something to you. It's just horrible and it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's why it's important, man, for young kids, young girls, particularly, to have a male figure in their life that's gonna go all out to protect them. You feel me?
And
And
not take
I look at this.
advantage of them and use them and,
I look
you
at
know,
yeah, I look at the situation like this. If I'm ever in the vicinity of a pervert like that, that let's say me and you out and about, right, and we got baby girl with us,
mm,
and something like that happened, and she come back and tell me, right? She come back and tell me that's a freebie. I'm gonna sell the ranch on him. You feel
mm-hmm.
me? He gonna touch everything in there, point blank. Period. You know what I
And
mean? And we got to have stronger male figures in these kids' lives, man.
there's
You know what I'm
not
saying? To be able
there's
to
not no
protect them
more.
because they can't protect themselves. They can't protect themselves. Point
And
blank.
then
Period. So we got to
there's
be
a
on point.
no, yes, exactly. And there's another one I had seen, and then they're just so desperate with it. Like some girl was at a young lady. She was at a bus stop, and her skirt, you know, her skirt wasn't too short, but she had a little short skirt on. And some man was right there with his phone, and like he was like trying to act like he was looking this way, but he was like going like that, like either filming her under her skirt or trying to take pictures real quick. But there was a camera right there, and they caught everything. They're just getting desperate.
Pervert.
It's disgusting, disgusting,
I would
horrible.
personally love to catch some of them dudes though.
Yeah,
In all honesty, man, you feel me? Like that's a freebie,
horrible.
man. I'm selling the ranch. I promise you. You feel me? But look, we're gonna go ahead. I think we done covered everything that we needed to cover for today. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and let the people get back to their lives. You know what I'm saying? Do you
Like,
got anything that you want
comment,
to close out with?
like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll try to be back soon, sometime hopefully during spring break. Everyone have a safe night and a lovely spring break. And until the next time, peace.
Okay, for sure. Well, we're gonna try to get it in a little sooner than that. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
I appreciate everybody, man, for tapping in. You know, taking the time out your day to come and sit and at this round table, man, and you know, listen to what we had to say, man. You know, it's all love, appreciation. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody out there, man, is you know being be overprotective of your kids. Even when they reach the age of 18, 19, still be overprotective of them. Even if they trying to fight you over it, and man, be overprotective of them.
And man,
You know what I'm
there's
saying?
another story, but we're finna leave. There was one more that just recently happened. Love you.
Okay, well tell it real quick.
Okay, so a 13-year-old out of Oxnard, California, his soccer coach, he had just got recently arrested for essaying, I think somebody. Well, anyways, they gave the kid money to travel out there. This sicko essayed him, and they found him dead in the woods. And people are trying to like blame the parents because they no one went with him. Then the sicko is like when they were trying to call to see whether well, you know what's going on with their son, he's on the phone laughing, hanging up, and yeah, that's why the
Wow.
first offense, the first one, it should be over with. They should be never go to prison or a mental home, whatever, and stay there forever because they get out and it escalates and it gets worse. And they just keep, they're not healed. They don't heal from it. They get worse with it and sicker.
That's
Seriously.
exactly why I don't. That's exactly why I don't want prison for those type of people. I want street justice.
Yeah.
You don't give them a
Horrible.
second chance to do the same thing over and over. That's the problem.
Exactly.
They slap them type of dudes on the wrist and let them right back out. But
They
they
really
keep
do.
everybody else in prison. Yeah, man, come
Yeah.
on! I've seen people who go in the store and steal some bubble gum and get a life sentence, and done 15,
Exactly.
20 years. Done 15 and 20 years for stealing some bubble gum. But here it is, you got these perverts that's doing these despicable things to kids and women. You know what I'm saying? They slap on the wrist and let them right back out. How is that
Exactly.
ever
It's
possible?
horrible.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So no, I don't want their justice. No, their justice means nothing to me. I want
It
street
doesn't.
justice for perverts like that. For those that
Yeah.
want to harm women, you know what I'm saying? These are people that cannot defend themselves. Go do something to a man. You know what I'm saying? If you
Exactly.
dudes that tough, you know what I'm saying? Go do something to a man. Point blank, period.
Veronica said the only thing that changes with a predator or something como is the way they try to prey on kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they changed their strategy, but the overall goal is the overall goal. You know what I'm saying? I don't want none of their justice. Their justice means nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Let
Yeah.
me catch them, please. You
Yes.
feel me? But yeah, man, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Beautiful golden, I thank you. You know what I'm saying? My favorite, beautiful, wonderful co-host. I love and appreciate you. You know what I'm
Love you
saying? Of course.
too.
And again, to those of y'all that happen to catch this later on in the day or in your night or whenever, maybe tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Thank you all, man, for tapping in. Thank you for choosing the swing low. Thank all of my subscribers, those of y'all that subscribe to the show. You know what I mean? I appreciate, love you all, man. You know, thank you for choosing the Swing Low podcast. And if you haven't did it, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Swing Low podcast show. Do Rod Creed. Love and appreciate you all. Man, y'all stay safe out there. You know what I'm saying? Continue to be vigilant. Continue to love and appreciate the people that's in your life because tomorrow is not promised to nobody. On that note, we finna get up out of here. I love all y'all, man. Till the next time, triple game.